I'm Ron from Coleno, the leading suite app for managing accounts receivable seamlessly integrated with NetSuite. Today, I'll guide you through every setting available in the Global Invoicing Preferences in NetSuite. So to start, you will go to Setup, Accounting, Preferences, Invoicing Preferences. On this page, you can customize how billable lines appear on invoices. You'll notice a preview section at the bottom that dynamically updates based on the settings you choose, allowing you to see how the invoice will appear. Once you're satisfied with your settings, you will just click Save in the top left. But now let's dive into all the available settings under the Invoicing subtab. So the first one you see here is Combine Time Items on Invoices. This setting groups all billable time entries into one total on the invoice. For example, if an employee logs 100 hours over 20 days for the same task, the customer will see a total of 160 hours on their invoice. Please note that this must be enabled to also enable the group time by employee, which is the next one, which will group billable time by the employee. So if an employee works on multiple projects for a client, the total time will be grouped per employee. These features obviously depends therefore on these combined time items. They will go together. You then have the combined expense items on invoices. This setting groups expense items into a single total when they share the same category. If an employee submits multiple expenses under travel, these will be grouped into one line item on the invoice. However, if a category is missing, the item will not be grouped. If you disable it, each expense item appears as a separate line item. The next one we have is Group Expenses by Employee. So when enabled, this option groups expenses by employee, just like the group time by employee option does for time items. This helps your client see expenses per employee more clearly. So here you can see I can't select it. Maybe I need this. No, I need this. Yeah, okay, so it's dependent on combined expense items on invoices, and I saw that because if not, it gets grayed out. So the next one we have here is the combined billable items on invoices. This setting combines all billable items, including expenses, into one total. For instance, if an employee incurs a $50 expense for 5 days, the invoice will show $250 in expenses. The group billable types on invoices. Enabling this option groups similar billable items, time, and expenses together with subtotals. For example, all time entries will be subtotaled under billable time section and expenses under billable expenses. Next in line, we have Show Billable Subtotals on Invoices. It displays subtotals for each billable line group on the invoice. Items are grouped by type or category and subtotaled, regardless of whether a markup or discount is applied. For example, 2 billable expense entries for air travel will be grouped and subtotaled. If you'd like to reorder items, you can do so. First, you need to subscribe to this channel for more NetSuite tips and tutorials. I would be very grateful. And then all you need to do is customize the invoice form. You can open the invoice. So let's go to page invoices. I'll go on editing one. And then on the invoice here in the top right, you can just click on the customize button. And then if you customize the form, you will be able to adjust how items, expenses, and time entries are ordered under the list tab. That's it. You've seen the basics of the Global Invoicing Preferences. So have a look, play around, and see you in the next video.